Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star Part 211 based on novel. So let's start. The hunt lasted for a month, of which he battled 3 times a day for the first 8 days. Later on he only did 1 battle a day. Within this month of hunting, Luofong was the main force during the first 6 days. However, later on, he began to hide and let his slaves do the job. Even though the proficiency may have fallen slightly without him, it didn't affect the hunt too much, and doing so would help him avoid huge troubles later on. After all, if he appeared every time as the main leader, he would be in big trouble for killing too many warriors. A total of 46 battles were fought in a month. This made his slave count grow from the initial heavy arrow to a total of 9. Meaning, from his hunt, he had acquired 8 new slaves. Congratulations, Master. Master, these are the goods left behind. The soul slaves were all absolutely loyal, giving all the treasures from the battles to him. As for their own wealth and treasures, they gave to him also. And Luofong arranged them on his own after, leaving them a few according to his plan. Even though he managed to get a huge amount of wealth from the 46 battles, upgrading the strength of the 9 slaves would require his own strength and resources. He felt the pressure. The shockwave that he had created spread throughout Star Tower. Initially, he had brought Heavy Arrow with him to the many battles, and the news had spread between the 3 camps. At that time, the number of warriors he killed hadn't reached so high yet. Even though it had made him more renowned than before, the entire Star Tower was still considered pretty calm. However, as time passed, the news of him killing more warriors shook the entire place. 6 days, 18 battles, 13 of which spread the news. There were about a total of 40 emperors dying at the hands of Blade River Emperor, among which 13 of them were Pinnacle Emperors and Soul Masters or Emperor Limits. The news spread fast and shook Star Tower. The Outer Region Wars was a massacre place. The warriors there wouldn't back down from fear of Blade River's strength. His actions had indeed enraged many. Many warriors from the other races began to form groups all looking for him and Heavy Arrow, wanting to kill him. The originally calm over 100,000 Undyings thus had more intense battles. This resulted in many more casualties. However, when they had begun to look for him, he vanished. The many battles that took place never had Blade River in them. In truth, some of the slaves Luofong got didn't reveal their enslavement. Hence, Luofong had arranged for them to form groups of 2 or 3 to hunt 1 battle a day. Without Luofong within, no one would suspect that he was involved. The atmosphere had gotten pretty crazy within Star Tower because of the massacre from Blade River Emperor. After he vanished, he secretly sent his slaves to target Pinnacle Soul Masters or Emperor Limits. There were still many that fell. The deaths of these warriors caused the atmosphere to go crazy. It's too crazy, even a Pinnacle Emperor or Emperor Limit can fall here. It's best we leave Star Tower temporarily. Haha, this is a rare encounter. With warriors dying, we have a chance of getting huge wealth. Kill. It's rare to have a chance to battle. Normally, those hard to deal with warriors would just retreat. That's seriously boring. Right now, Star Tower is truly a battleground. Some of the weaker and scared warriors left Star Tower. However, other bloodthirsty and confident warriors rushed here, causing the chaos within to ensue. There were also many still searching for Blade River. However, they couldn't locate him at all. Within a forbidden space, a glaring gold-armored silhouette glowing with black light, seemingly like an automaton puppet, was present. This cold automaton warrior was the automaton super warrior that had just rushed here, Lifefall Emperor. He actually killed so many Pinnacle Emperor Soul Masters, and so many Emperor Limits. Over 10 of them. And the many other emperors. His voice was filled with strength. His eyes were gleaming with fighting spirit. This warrior is worthy of my time. Behind him 6 others followed respectfully. I've come here for Blade River Emperor. Lifefall was excited. At his level of strength, he wasn't interested in dealing with normal Emperor limits anymore. If he wanted to fight, it had to be one with special encounters, or heavy treasures, or one with special battling abilities. In all, it had to be special. When the sealed star fell before, he didn't manage to kill Seven Blade, and that made him regretful. He didn't have any guarantee dealing with Seven Blade or Da Long, such absolute warriors. However, against a new Blade River Emperor that was just a little more renowned than other Emperor limits, he was confident. Lord, we cannot find Blade River. We've contacted many other allies, none of them have discovered him. Luofong's eyes gleamed with rage as he heard this. This audacious Blade River had created such a storm, killing over 10 Pinnacle Soul Masters and Emperor limits, yet now he's just vanished. Has he left Star Tower? Check for me. We have automaton warriors all over, and I will also give a bounty of 1 billion indigo gems for news on his location. The moment we confirm the news is real, I will give the reward. Yes. Yes, Lord. The 6 warriors replied. Blade River Emperor. Luofong's eyes gleamed. He was clear that since Blade River could kill so many warriors, he definitely had some treasure or encounters. Also, just the wealth from killing so many emperors, that would be no small sum even to him. The moment he killed Blade River, he would get a huge windfall. Naturally, he wouldn't give up so easily on his target. Blade River Emperor? Check. Find out where Blade River is. Da Long had targeted him too, killing him would get him a huge windfall, why not? This storm had started because of Blade River. Even though he had killed so many absolute warriors, he was only that strong himself. Killing the Emperor limits wasn't considered a massacre, plus the numbers weren't huge, hence the super beings didn't intervene. However, warriors like Luofong, Da Long and Black Tomb were renowned warriors of the Outer Region Wars. Hence, they all began to target him. The level of strength begets the level of fame. Since Blade River dared to cause such a storm, then the others would naturally covet for his wealth. It became a challenge to see whether one could defeat Blade River. As long as Blade River could flee from Luofong or Da Long, that would be proof of his strength. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Virtual Universe, Luofong's villa. There were only 2 people in his living room, Luofong and True Yang. Luofong, you've caused quite a storm this time, what are you doing? True Yang stared at his own disciple. Your reputation has grown huge, and that would attract stronger enemies. I think, Black Tomb, Da Long, that group of punks could all be targeting you. No problem. Luofong smiled. No problem. True Yang shook his head. Look, you don't even know how many of these other race warriors are trying to kill you, and your reputation within the Hong Alliance is huge too. With frequent dealings with many warriors, like those exploring dangerous secret regions, they would invite you along. The name represents strength. Without sufficient strength behind, you will fall. True Yang looked at him. I have had some special encounters. Luofong smiled and consoled his teacher. True Yang was shocked. Special encounters? Are you fully confident of being able to survive and escape from such warriors? True Yang couldn't believe it. His disciple was powerful, but these other warriors, which of them didn't have their own treasures and encounters? Which of them didn't have huge amounts of treasure? How powerful were they? I have confidence. Luofong nodded, without any hesitation. True Yang looked shocked at him. After which he sighed and shook his head, forget it, since you are so confident, let's see what happens. I will work hard and not disappoint you. Luofong mocked. There were indeed many trying to befriend him after his name grew. However, he dealt with them casually. Only with his teacher did he actually take the time to meet and handle any questions. Within the palace in Star Tower surrounded by sealed stars, silver-armored Luofong stood there, and behind him stood a row of absolute warriors, a total of 9. They were Heavy Arrow, Emperor Limit. Honed Heart, Emperor Pinnacle Soul Master. Zhenzhong, Emperor Limit. Metal Flag, Emperor Limit. Sorrow Demon, Emperor Pinnacle Soul Master. Chu Kan, Emperor Pinnacle Soul Master. Ji Hong, Emperor Limit, holding the true treasure ancient clock. Mountain Howl, Emperor Limit. Fu Shui, Emperor Limit, holding the true treasure ice net. These were the 9 warriors Luofong controlled. There were a total of 46 battles in his hunt, killing over 100 emperors. Of which, when he killed a high emperor, he was lucky to discover he had the true treasure ice net. Killing so many emperor limits and soul masters however didn't get him any true treasures. According to their strengths and styles, he finally gave the ice net to Fu Shui to use, and the ancient clock was more suited for Ji Hong Emperor. Luofong looked at his 9 slaves and felt strength. Even though he had been strong all this while, the moment a pinnacle or emperor limit burned their undying bodies and gave it their all, he would only be able to rely on the Shou wings to defend and dodge. Because of this, he was only capable of prolonging the battle, and this was his big weak point. He had no undying body to burn. Now I have 9 powerful slaves, and all of them are undyings of other races. I wouldn't ever have to simply waste time when the enemy burns his undying energy. 9 warriors, of which 4 were controlled directly by him. The other 5 were controlled by him through his slaves. He directly controlled Heavy Arrow, Honed Heart, Ji Hong, and Fu Shui. When he first chose his targets, he knew that Ji Hong was suitable for the ancient clock. Hence, he naturally personally controlled Ji Hong himself at critical times. As the last one he controlled, Fu Shui was controlled because he was suitable for the ice net. In terms of importance, the ancient clock and ice net, these 2 true treasures, were much more important than the emperor limits themselves. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Hong Alliance, within a restaurant. Luofong was sipping tea casually. The Pinghai business had grown huge, making tea a widely available drink, and there were many connoisseurs of tea throughout the universe now. A knocking on door, the staff specially assigned to his booth gently tapped on the wall and a white screen appeared. In it a lady friend Yongyang Emperor dressed in a purple armor with short purple hair was present, and her eyes were glowing blue. Luofong glanced over and nodded to the staff, only then did he open the door. Hua. The boot door opened. Yongyang entered. You can leave. Luofong ordered the staff. Yes. The staff left and closed the door behind him, leaving only Luofong and Yongyang within. Blade River, it's been so long, why have you contacted me? Her expression displayed a sense of interest and curiosity. She sat right beside him as she continued, but I heard that you've recently caused a great massacre within Star Tower. That was quite a shock. Yongyang was a high emperor. She was friendly but distant before. This time however, after Luofong's name had risen greatly, she was shocked by the news initially, as she never expected him to be that strong. I need your help. Luofong said directly. I will do my best to assist you. Only thing is, just what can I do to help you? She looked at him. Tell me where Tian Chen Emperor is, his exact location. Luofong said directly. The moment it's confirmed, I will transfer 100 million mixed elements as a thank you. Humph, Blade River sure is generous. She looked at him. He won't find out about this, right? Luofong nodded. It was easy enough to guess. After all, back then Blade River and Tian Chen were on good terms. If there weren't any special circumstance, he would have easily been able to just call up Tian Chen and ask him himself. Was there a need to get his location through another person? Yongyang wasn't stupid, she smiled. Tian Chen is currently in the most dangerous place of the 7th battlefield, the Twin Whirlpools. Blade River, you can begin heading there, and when you arrive, I will give you the exact location. Luofong smiled and nodded. Thanks Yongyang, I trust in your ability. After which he vanished. Yongyang lifted the glass of tea and pondered, smiling, this is getting interesting. This Blade River sure isn't ordinary at all, it's better to stay on good terms with him. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Star Tower, within the palace surrounded by sealed stars. Which among you can get to Twin Whirlpools as fast as possible? Luofong looked at his 9 slaves. Master, I can do it. 3 warriors spoke up, They were after all the top-notch warriors in the outer region wars. Only several others were stronger than them, mainly Luofong, Seven Blade etc. Hence, other than Star Tower, they had naturally been to many other places within the outer region wars, leaving markers about. Very good, Ji Hong, you shall lead the way. Luofong said. Yes, master. Ji Hong said respectfully. Other than Heavy Arrow and Ji Hong by my side, you other 7 will stay in the world ring. Only when I need you for battle will you show yourselves. Luofong ordered. The other 7 warriors all complied respectfully, entering the normal world ring. Luofong would summon them at critical times. If the battle ever got too intense and he had no way to trigger the world energy of the world ring, the 7 warriors would be able to forcefully break out on their own too. I left one of my plant life form markers within an asteroid there back then. Ji Hong said. Then let's go. Luofong ordered. A light appeared and it engulfed the entire area. Luofong was able to see the scene of the distant God country. Luofong, Heavy Arrow, and Ji Hong were all teleported away from Star Tower. They first appeared within the God country before being teleported to Twin Whirlpools. Twin Whirlpools was an area covered by 2 extremely huge whirlpools. The smaller one had a diameter of 3.9 light-years and the larger one 4.2 light-years. They affected each other and were both unable to swell any larger. However, large amounts of items were still pulled into them. Master, Twin Whirlpools has both gravity and repelling forces. When you first enter the area, the gravity is very strong. As you get deeper, it gets even crazier, and when you reach the limit, the gravity would vanish and the repelling force will act on you instead. The closer you get to the core, the stronger this force will be. None of the emperors have ever reached the core area. Ji Hong introduced the area respectfully. Some have tried to teleport in, however the moment they did that, the huge force would instantly destroy them. Luofong nodded. The most dangerous places in the entire outer region wars all had their own specialties. Of course, Star Tower was the most special as it was in itself a treasure. An asteroid with a diameter of 3 kilometers revolved about the Twin Whirlpools. This asteroid's speed is so fast, flying within this arc for countless years. It is unable to escape from the whirlpools or get deeper. Ji Hong said. Luofong stood on it and gazed about. With a glance, amidst the vast blackness, he could see little asteroids and mountains etc. Yongyang. Luofong contacted her via the virtual universe. I've arrived at Twin Whirlpools. So fast? However, I've already checked on his location, these are the coordinates. Thanks, once it's confirmed I will send the reward over to your account. A simple transaction. Luofong had already acquired the accurate coordinates. Even though Yongyang was only a High Emperor, she was one of the members of a powerful group within the Hong Alliance. This group was proficient in information and investigation, and its unique quality was that all members were female. It was said that the leader of this group was one of the Shrine Masters of the Hong Alliance. Tian Chen isn't far from me, let's go. Luofong ordered. Master, teleporting within Twin Whirlpools requires extremely accurate coordinates. The moment there's a mistake and one enters too deep into the dangerous regions, one could easily lose his life. Ji Hong warned. Luofong nodded. The Mosha body had become a metal fragment on his cloud contact armor, feeling the vast space ripples, swiftly determining the exact coordinates. Luofong, Heavy Arrow, and Ji Hong vanished from the spot. The larger whirlpool had a continent within with a diameter of over 30 million kilometers. It was flying within for all eternity. Within this continent, there were 2 teams, and one was a team led by Tian Chen. Humph. His long hair flew in the wind as he sat crossed-legged. Beside him stood a tall and sturdy scaled other race warrior. Ever since he earned a lot from the Star Tower incident, his luck had been good. Currently, he had 3 slaves, of which 2 were Emperor limits, and 1 was the Pinnacle Soul Master, Kai Mang Emperor. With the 3 warriors and his own strength, he had successfully killed many, getting many treasures and lots of wealth, buying many items within Hong Alliance. When one got stronger, their wealth naturally grew and their treasures grew too. With that, they would get even stronger. This was a virtuous cycle. In theory, he was initially in a very good mood, but it changed suddenly. Blade River Emperor. Blade River. He sat cross-legged there, the words resounding in his mind. He recalled the information clearly. In less than half a month, Blade River had killed over 10 Soul Masters and Emperor limits, with other Emperors ranging over 40. These were all done by Blade River and his slave Heavy Arrow. I knew it. I knew back then that when he escaped, there would be trouble. Just from the exchange with him from back then, I knew that if he could enslave Heavy Arrow, he must have true treasures and a limitless future. I carefully prepared that setup, and secretly tried to kill him. Who would have thought at the critical moment, he'd break free of the illusion and brandish the strongest flame god crystal. Luckily that exit appeared, allowing me to escape. He still remembered that scene when Blade River brandished the crystal without any hesitation. It was terrifying. He understood after that incident that if Blade River didn't die, there would be a tragedy for him in the future. Hence over the 6,000 years, he worked hard to strengthen himself. Even though he had prepared sufficiently, no one would have expected him to be that terrifying. Teleportation. He felt a spatial ripple, turning to look. Chen Chen and the tall and sturdy scaled warrior beside him both looked at where the ripple occurred. 3 powerful silhouettes appeared at the same time. They were the black furry Jihong Emperor, the half-a-meter-tall adorable Mountain Howl Emperor and the jade-green-skinned Fu Shui Emperor. They were all Emperor limits, of which Jihong and Fu Shui had the ancient clock and the ice net treasures. Hence, they were the strongest of Luofong's 9 slaves. As for Mountain Howl, if the others all didn't have powerful treasures, he was the strongest of the lot. The 3 of them were Luofong's strongest 3. Chen Chen was shocked at the 3 silhouette appearing. Jihong, Mountain Howl and Fu Shui, they are all Emperor limits, all warriors that have explored Star Tower. Why are they here? I heard that Fu Shui had fallen, but I didn't expect to see him here. I wonder if he's been enslaved. They must have come here because Star Tower is in too much of a mess. The 3 Emperor limits were actually from 2 different camps. As to the appearance of different camp warriors, Chen Chen was actually not surprised. Just like how Luofong had first explored the sacrificial tower with Purple Clock Emperor, due to special reasons, the different sides would occasionally team up. The 3 of them are teaming up, especially that Mountain Howl Emperor. He's the biggest threat. Even if my other 2 slaves appear, we'll only have 4 in total here, and 2 are Emperor Pinnacle Soul Masters. The other 2, however, are Emperor limits. If we fight it out, we have no chance of winning. Many thoughts flashed past his mind. Over the past 6,000 years, he had killed many other warriors. However, it depended on who he targeted. The 3 before him were all Emperor limits, he wouldn't madly rush in. Both sides stared at each other. Jihong side's energy was obviously stronger. Fu Shui said coldly, Chen Chen, we didn't expect to bump into you here. Fu Shui, Jihong and Mountain Howl, what a coincidence. Looks like we are all exploring the twin whirlpools. However, I have other things to do, I'll take my leave first. He smiled and said, wanting to take his scaled slave with him to teleport away. However, as he said those last words, a formless ripple spread throughout. The space around them was locked down. Space locked down. His expression sank. Is there something you need from me? The tall and sturdy scaled warrior behind him looked coldly at Jihong's side. Indeed. Fu Shui smiled coldly. The moment he spoke, rumble. The air around exploded, as both sides moved almost simultaneously. Fu Shui and his team rushed forward while Chen Chen's side suddenly had 2 more warriors appear, making his team number reach 4. Chen Chen and his 3 slaves howled and welcomed the battle. Since we've begun, we'll give it our all to control them. If we fail, we'll kill them all. Chen Chen's eyes gleamed with madness, ordering his 3 slaves, Kai Mang, we'll both burn our undying bodies and use illusions. Yes, master. Rumble. Rumble. Chen Chen and Kai Mang were decisive, instantly raising their strengths, causing the space around them to warp. The two were incredibly terrifying after burning their undying bodies. They both used illusions to attack Mountain Howl and Ji Hong. While using the illusions, they also tried controlling their souls. Even though the chances of success were incredibly low, if they succeeded, they would have one more ally. Rumble. 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 As their energies swelled, Ji Hong's 3 Emperor limits didn't hesitate in burning their undying energy too. This forced the other 2 slaves of Chen Chen to do the same. Hence, this battle, which involved a total of 7 warriors, all burned their undying energies, making Chen Chen angry and worried. "If you all back off, we won't go after you," Chen Chen shouted. "Ha ha, stop dreaming." Ji Hong's side didn't even stop. "We have no grudges, this fight will only result in heavy losses on both sides. It's better to retreat, that's the best for both sides." Chen Chen tried reasoning with them. However, Ji Hong simply replied him with mad attacks. Rumble. The incredibly solid and large continent floating within the whirlpool had a layer chipped away from the ripples of attack from the 7 absolute warriors. And within a world ring Ji Hong carried. Luofong and the other 6 warriors lay waiting. They formed a row, maintaining utmost respect for Luofong. "It's begun." Heavy Arrow smiled. "Master, that Chen Chen probably doesn't even know why Ji Hong and the others are going all out." "Ha ha." Luofong laughed too. Usually when parties had similar levels of strength, they hardly ever fought it out. And Ji Hong and the others were on orders from their master, they naturally followed them and battled. First heavily injure Chen Chen, make him lose over half his undying body and his strength won't be 10% of what it was before. Then I'll appear with the other slaves and try and control him together with the others. Luofeng's plan was something like that. The reason why he didn't show himself initially was to avoid unnecessary trouble. Because right now, Life Fall, Da Long, many absolute beings were targeting Blade River. And Chen Chen was naturally clear on this, as he too was worried about Blade River. The moment Luofong showed himself, Chen Chen would immediately send this news via the virtual universe, publicly spreading his location. Life Fall and the other super beings, many had publicly announced bounties on his location. Luckily, I'm already retired and I am not part of the army system. As long as I don't show myself, they will never find me. I'll hide for now. When Chen Chen is heavily injured, only then will I appear and swiftly settle this. Then I'll leave immediately. Luofong thought. Chen Chen, I had suspected you to be a petty little thief back then. Yet I would never have expected you to control 3 slaves. Fight it out, go on, after this battle, if you don't fall, you'll become my slave. Fu Shui, make your move. Luofong ordered via his soul. Yes, master. Asterisk. 7 warriors madly clashed on the flying continent. Mountain Howl Emperor unleashed his natural ability, becoming a mountain-like giant. He was intrepid. Chen Chen's 2 soul masters had caused Ji Hong and Fu Shui to be unable to unleash their full strengths, and were suppressed. Yes, master. The moment Fu Shui received his order, he smiled coldly and used the ice net to unleash his renowned technique Fu Shui 9 blows. He unleashed his law domain and triggered the universe energies. The ice net became the framework, immediately forming an endless ice domain 1 million km around, engulfing all 7 warriors within. Every drop of water was 1,000 kilograms, with endless ice and water about. Naturally, their speeds were all greatly affected. Master, why is this Fu Shui's Fu Shui C so powerful? I've battled him before and it wasn't this strong. Hurry and get out of the Fu Shui Sea. Chen Chen ordered. Amidst the ice-cold ocean, Chen Chen and the others all rushed into the sky. However, amidst the vast ocean, flying along within was a visible clear transparent thread that shot straight at Chen Chen. Master, be careful. A special rope-binding spirit weapon. Be careful. Chen Chen's side was caught off guard. Kai Mang was the first to be heavily bound by the rope, and he automatically let his undying body crumble to escape the binding. However, the moment he was reforming, the rope once again wrapped about him. That way, he had no way to unleash his strength at all. He and Chen Chen were both soul masters. The other two slaves were even more unlucky, because they relied on close combat. What powerful binding! I can't get free, and even my attacks don't work. It's very likely a true treasure. Be careful. Chen Chen saw the three powerful silhouettes swiftly rushing closer. He gritted his teeth and took out his most treasured possession from the past 6,000 years. He brandished a 12 m tall automaton weapon. It was the super automaton weapon, Separation Tower. Its power was terrifying. Back then, when Life Fall tried to kill Seven Blade, he used this Separation Tower. Hence, its power was well known. When Chen Chen madly burnt undying energy to pour into the weapon, he was willing to risk it all. You want to kill me? Go and die? His expression was malevolent. A jade green arc light suddenly appeared and shot straight at Fu Shui. In Chen Chen's eyes, that powerful binding that made even two Emperor limits unable to attack or escape was too powerful. The moment this went on, his team may lose their lives. Hence, his first target would naturally be the one controlling the net, Fu Shui Emperor. Dang! A huge clock appeared within the ocean. It completely covered the now smaller mountain Hao, Fu Shui, and Ji Hong within. Actually, when Chen Chen took out the separation tower before, Ji Hong was shocked. It's a separation tower. Mountain Hao, Fu Shui, hurry into the ancient clock. Rumble. The jade green light shot out and hit the purple ancient clock, as its powerful force tore through the entire ocean area. This video will end here.